Hi class. This week is all about the student learner in distance courses. Now, it's kind of funny that I'm teaching this aspect of the course because when I was an undergraduate, master's, and doctoral student, I believe I only ever had one course that I took online. I've had my PhD for about 10 years, so distance courses were sort of still in their infancy, believe it or not, in the early 2000s, and certainly never had the opportunity to take a fully delivered course as an undergraduate, except I did take a course through a community college on ethics way back in 1995, and that essentially was a reading course. You were sent video readings, then you watched a videotape on a bunch of older gentlemen arguing about ethics, and probably the videos were from the late 80s. So imagine something like a very poor man's version of some of these political talk shows, or something like Larry King, but with much worse editing and olive green and brown furniture from the 1980s or 70s. It was really not a great course for me. You took some reading quizzes, went in and did a proctored test at the public library in the town that I grew up in. So I took that over a summer when I was living back home with my parents after my first year of college. And that experience, was not, I think, a really good course, not a very interactive course. Engagement's really an important topic. We cover a little bit in this course, but I think many of you asked questions about learner engagement. That is incredibly important. And in these reading courses, a lot of times you have very little engagement with the instructor. So I didn't find that a beneficial experience. But I find it interesting I'm teaching this section of the course because I didn't have a lot of my courses via distance. So for this week, we have a guest speaker or two that is covering, were actually received their degrees online or have taken a number of distance delivered courses. And so the guest speakers this week will share their experiences with that, and I think it's really good to get a learner perspective. And so what we'll try to do this week is I'll try to pull together some papers, some readings, and perhaps even talk a little bit about perspectives on what's best for students or what they seek to get out of a distance course besides passing the course and getting an A in the course. So we'll cover some issues with student issues, but I think one of the things you'll get the most out of are those individual interviews with the students, because they'll share their experiences. And so part of this is hopefully they'll share some of the things they liked and didn't like about a distance course or being involved in a distance program, but also give you a little bit of different perspective. Some of you are online learners, and it's always good to hear what other people say about their experience online. So that's sort of our setup this week. It's a Saturday night when I'm recording this, so I'm in my civilian clothes. You can see this is what I typically wear around. And I've got a light on me that's giving me a little bit of back shadow. One of the things that I'll probably do this semester is talk about lighting and setting up for these sort of headshot videos. My philosophy is you got to get them done. So the lighting is somewhat important. We're so used to things like YouTube videos right now, where people do these on-the-fly headshots, and they're very sort of a personalized way, almost like a selfie, sharing your environment. So I think the video production for these don't have to be incredibly great to serve their purpose, because we're all used to seeing this sort of YouTube value production. But there are ways of improving it, so we will have some later videos on that. But I just wanted to show you, this is on a weekend. I'm recording in my office, and I do have a very cheap light set up, and I'll point that over here. That's just a table lamp, a desk lamp that I have set up to give me a little bit of backlight. And one thing I wanted to point out here is, camera picks some things up. If I shut that light off, I get less fill behind me. I also have another light here that is sort of a daylight light, and I can get a different look. Hit it with a different light, and I get a completely different look. So, this sort of production is really incredibly good. I'd put my hand over it. That's even better. If I soften that up a little bit. But I did want to show you that, a little bit behind the scenes of how to do this. And, we'll talk about some of these issues later. But this week is all about the student learner. And I did want to give you a little insight from the perspective of the instructor that I do think, some of the quality of these videos do impact the students a little bit. If you think this is a junky little video, I didn't put much effort into it, that does impact your experience. So that's why we're talking about this. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the week on student learning from the learner perspective for distance courses. And you share some of your opinions on this topic as well.